Yo, for any lady or woman, female, whatever you want to call yourself that watches this, I gotta ask, who the fuck are the dudes that y'all know or literally have sex with? Because I listen, I'm gonna read the comments. This shit is nauseating what y'all put out here, not not realizing what like you yourself say is about like what you attract. But let's go and read this and then get into the comments. She says, I always see y'all say, if you want 50-50, get a roommate. But why you don't see black men being roommates more in our community is that when it's a woman, he's never actually going to pay 50%. 50-50 with a woman is maybe 50%. Sometimes. A good chance is less or even nothing. That is objectively a better financial situation than the guaranteed 50% he'd have to pay living with another man. So why would he ever do that? With a man, he would have to, or they would fight. Black men know if they live with a woman, they won't ever actually have to pay their share. That's why niggas don't be living with each other more often. Now, 78 comments of them agreeing with this stupid shit. But this is literally just what I guess fits into the realm of what they call a bimbo babble or whatever the fuck. Because none of it makes sense. Try to break it down as much as we can live. The whole he doesn't want to live with be a roommate with a man because he would actually have to pay. No, the type of person you're talking about wouldn't have a problem just place hopping. Like he would just leave. Like he wouldn't have to get his ass beat if he just left. Do y'all really think that every dude who stands on his square in a situation in which, hey bro, you got your half? Well, I'm about to fuck you up, nigga. About to beat. No, he would go, bro, get the fuck out if you ain't got your. What is this? Why would you know you gotta pay rent? It would be an argument, and then the dude would just leave. You would not. You would not. It would not come to blows 99% of the time. We would be pissed off, but it would not come to blows. Like, cut it out. Also, you do realize that in the situation you're describing is one of two, meaning like half. So the other guy, what is he? Is he also a guy who just is too afraid to live with another man, even though you're painting him as someone who somebody got to win the fight? So you're only talking about half, which proves my point that I've been making for years now, that when y'all have these conversations, y'all literally only see the dude you want to see, so you can only talk to that. Never address the full picture, just that, so you can make your point of view seem like it's just infallible. But you literally have a dude in this very scenario that you came up with who, one, has no problem with paying his half, two, has no problem with the male roommate. So you're only looking at the quote unquote bad in this scenario. That's very convenient. Very convenient. Um and then this whole if they live with the woman, they don't have to pay their fair share. Why do y'all act like y'all literally are just these doormats? Why? The attitude, the people who literally got the stereotype of going to sleep with your fist balled up, the same people who say fuck you, I'm not changing a damn thing, the people who have been talking shit for 60 plus years, you're just such doormats that we just assume we can get over on you because you're full of shit. You're doing this just to be able to talk shit, and this is why I'm down to like a video a month. This shit is so exhausting, and I try to leave this alone. But when you lie so tough, it's just like I'm not about to be lied on like this. I refuse to. Now, when I say B, I probably shouldn't even say it because I have never had a roommate. I've in 14 years I've only lived with a woman for 3 months out of 14 years, and she was the one who lost her job on move-in day. And worked so little. Her job, her income took more away from my income than she earned. That's how bad her work thing was that whole 3 months. Anyway, I'm tired of this bullshit of you get to just say shit because you're women about men and therefore it's factual because men are bad. I'm tired of that. That's the same thing with this whole black people, white people thing. Black people do something bad. You get to just say it's bad because, well, they're black. They did that because they're black. So now everything a black person does that's bad, well, of course you could expect it because they're black. And they do that because they're black. Like it's just this circular dumbass reasoning that is aggravating. Let's get into how stupid these comments are. I'm not gonna read hers because she's the author. This chick says, "Wow, I've seen this happen on real time. After his girlfriend left him, he had 3 male roommates for 3 months until he finally moved in with another woman. Maybe that person just is a bad roommate. You ever thought of that? That maybe the people you see, maybe they're just bad roommates, bad people maybe. But you only see the fact that he moved in with a woman after 3 men, and then you give no context after that. So did he move in with her? Did she move in with him? Is the reason that she wanted to stay with him? Is it also temporary? Because again, no context. Does he have? Is her situation more like I just need his whatever check he got? I need it. Like you literally just uttered some shit that sounded like it related to the post, and here we are, and that's just that. Infallible. That's that infallible shit. They're infallible because they can get into an echo chamber and just rattle off shit, and it's just all true. I know 3 men right now that are living with family or single mothers to avoid contributing fairly elsewhere. There's no need for them to get a roommate, and they're never scared of being homeless because there's always a woman in their lives that feels sorry for them. That's selective shit. I'm not going to say she's lying or wrong. I mean, there are people who are just leeches. Period. But are we going to talk about how many of y'all live with y'all sister who's on welfare? It's amazing that we're going to look at the dudes who are house hopping, but yet we can't ever shame the chicks that are on Section 8, on a waiting list. That is wrong, but we definitely going to shame these dudes who want to live with those very women, even though there are women who live with those very women. All right, way to bring us together. You are shaking the table with this conversation. Like you said, these conversations are needed, but there are few spaces for younger women to have this conversation for fear of being embarrassed or fear of embarrassing a man or losing him. So the cycle will continue. These are the same men who will use your money to buy you a gift. Bro, what the fuck? Are y'all insane? Imagine going to buy a house with her and she's just like that homeless nigga. Like she probably don't even think you are like a decent person trying to buy a house. You probably just there just to like, I don't know, take a nap real quick, take a break real quick, or just to be. She probably thinks so lowly of you if you're a guy trying to buy a house from her. Holy shit. They need to start. They all want the same thing, 50-50. So they might as well room with each other. That is so ironic. I don't think she sees it. In a post where you're technically telling men to be roommates with each other, you're also shaming men who would be roommates with each other. I don't know if you see that subtlety there. She is absolutely shaming men who would be roommates with each other while telling them on a post to be roommates with each other. Okay. All right. I think the problem is too is that black women don't know what it feels like to rest. They see the fake white women project, and collectively we think that's what I want. I'll submit to a man if he takes care of the bills. Not realizing that white women were so bored with homemaking, they literally created a field where they themselves could work outside of the home with schedules that fit their familiar needs, i.e., social work. Massage and wire is kicking out asses, and collectively we are stuck in Delulu. Even some of our big name feminists, content creators, parrot chat rife talking points. We need a better way of speaking about our experiences. I kind of see what this poster is attempting to say, but uh, I don't like the way it's brought together. Um, what really annoyed me at first was the whole black women don't know what it feels like to rest. Ladies, I need y'all to explain what the fuck does that mean? Even if you are, as she pointed out, a stay-at-home wife, you still have shit to do. I don't understand this either or. Either you're a boss babe or you're a woman who's married at home and you don't do shit. It's like it's like your mind is like, if I don't have a job, that literally means that I get to just go tanning all fucking day. What do you mean rest? Do you not do house shit like dishes, laundry? If you have kids who aren't in school yet, them. Do you plan on going grocery shopping ever? Or is that the resting you're talking about? Just la 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 up and down the alleyway. Like, what do you mean when you say rest? Because you still have shit to do. God, stop it with these fucking talking points, bro. When you focus on talking points, you really start to not make sense because you're not actually being a human at that point. You're just being something that chirps shit out. Blah. This boss babe, resting. Like, stop doing this. Excuse me. And this is the one. And this is one of the reasons they like a submissive. And by submissive, they mean don't question them. They know women are more docile, controllable. They expect to get away with it because you're either scared of them, scared to lose them, or digmatized. And I hate that so many women let dick play in their face. It's never good enough to put him before you, especially long term. Fuck no. Okay. Y'all do realize, and this goes to the lady above you, which is y'all complain about the whole submit thing and anything that goes along with that, but you literally ask for exactly that, which is very fucking weird. You mean to tell me that y'all wouldn't ask for a guy who could digmatize you? You're not going to ask for that in your mate. Nah. You're not going to want that. You're not going to say shit like, literally in this whole 50-50, pay the bills and I'll submit. Oh, okay, but you just shamed submitting though. You can't shame submitting in a general way and then say, if you pay all the bills, then I'll do exactly that thing that I complain about. That thing that I feel is making me essentially a doormat. That, like, if I expect you to be a doormat because I pay all the bills, you having your own job wouldn't change that. I would still feel entitled. That you're not changing anything by you having a job, other than you can say fuck you and leave. But at that point, you didn't you didn't really change the whole idea in play, because now guys aren't going to even want to do that. You're not fixing a problem. That problem's still there. You just have a separation out of never coming together, never having a solid situation. But all right, that's the game we're going to continue to play forever and ever. Fine. and why literally women need to stop living with men. It's not worth it. Better to have separate places, even in romantic partnerships. There's a problem with that. One thing that I seen that comes up quite a bit in places like Michigan is snow. Y'all refuse to fucking do snow. And what I mean say refuse is like obviously if there's no one around and you have to pick up the shovel, sure, you'll pick it up. But if there's a man in your vicinity, you will expect him to do that fucking snow. I've heard about 6 or 7 stories where dudes who are not even like connected to that woman really is doing snow work, snow duty. This old neighbor I used to have where I used to stay. He was talking about how they're going to go to like this neighborhood meeting or something like that, and um uh he one thing he complained about was snow removal, and he said he got 4 women like in the vicinity of him, like some way in like next to him, like two on one side, two on the other, some shit like that, and he quote unquote has to do all this snow because it's essentially like single moms to some degree. I forget exactly how they were. Like if they're I don't know if they're older women living with their adult daughters or a mix of adult women living with their younger daughters. But it was some sort of like women and their children and like no man around. And he has to do their snow and his. So like 5 houses worth of snow. And it's just like so you're asking that because remember this person said even in romantic partnerships. So I'm pretty sure you can find guys who will, who won't really demand anything in return. But you're going to have plenty of dudes who, if they're in this romantic partnership, and you're like, oh, it's snowing. Are you going to do my snow? He's going to look at, outside of you asking me for shit, we kind of are just fucking really. You really gonna start? Are you gonna start coming in my crib and like doing shit over there? Are you gonna like start, I don't know, doing my laundry or something? Because you keep asking me to come just to your crib to do snow or your crib to do the lawn work, or am I doing this just in exchange for coochie? Because at that point, we need to make this some sort of actual arrangement if this is how it's going to work. So I don't think you're actually going to get what you think out of this. Talking about always live apart from men. Like there are literally women who ask that they live apart from their husbands when they get married. Some will have a gravy situation in which because he lives separate from them, they'll still have their dick man come over. But a lot of y'all are not going to be able to pull this off, and it's going to backfire. Hell, some of the ones who get married is going to backfire because a couple of them going to kill y'all for playing with them like that. But moving on. This is why I tell a man I am not paying all the rent. As soon as I say that, most balk because they know they will have to pay to stay and they don't want to. They want to be pretend providers. Mind you, I didn't say I wasn't paying anything. I just said that. If a man is staying with me, I'm not paying the rent, mortgage. I don't know if it's paid. I don't know if it's not paid and what the cost is. I'm just not paying it. This was a really poor explanation of what she is talking about. Because if you're telling me you're not paying all the rent, okay, what was like? How many people enter the arrangement where if they're both working, the woman pays all the rent? Like how many dudes even think of that as a thing? If they're both working, that she pays all the rent. Like I seriously don't think that. I think they're just typing shit just to be smart asses, honestly. And the woman will also be his mama and the sex worker, so there's that. Y'all y'all be getting weird with some of this shit, dude. Seriously. What do you mean be his mama? Do y'all mean like be soothing? Do y'all mean like rub his back or some shit? What do you mean be his mama? And like the only two things you mentioned were his mama and fucking. What is wrong with y'all? Damn, that's weird. I wish I knew you in my 20s, I swear. Signed a woman who lived with a man who paid zilch. Okay. See, y'all be saying, y'all be telling these stories, trying to dog dudes. But all this does is tell us that the next time we see y'all and start talking about a relationship or anything, we know what y'all put up with from the last dudes. So now if we know y'all get to barking at us, you ain't feeling us, so we need to go. That's what you're telling us. For example, one thing that really gave me like this idea, and I didn't act on it, I should have ended that relationship a lot sooner. But I had an ex who she would just have like just attitudes with me about shit that I'm like, that's wildly trivial, dude. Like one time she made spaghetti and garlic bread. She burnt two of the four. I picked one of the good ones. She could have got the other one, but she just threw a fucking hissy fit. Like, why did you take that? Blah, 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 blah. But then she also at one point, I can't remember before or after, told me a story about this guy who she eventually let call her bitch on a regular because she realized, oh, that's just how he talks. He just calls women bitches. It is like, I was like, wait a minute. It's the same chick that give me attitude for shit all the time. Yo, get out of here. Like, so when y'all tell us this shit, we just start doing like these going through the thought processes of, so why would you even ever give me any flack? Why would I have to deal with this at all if you are more than okay with people like doing this to you to this degree? And you stuck around for how long? And he ain't pay shit? Meanwhile, I pay shit and you still got a funky ass attitude with me? Oh, let me not pay shit and see how that works out. Maybe your attitude to change then. Because you sure as hell, you couldn't have had this much attitude with him. You stayed 7 years. Holy shit. Because men plan to exploit women. They will not attempt to exploit other men. Men are afraid of other men. Just go look at how many men are unalived by their roommates. Again, this example doesn't make sense because you're saying that the other man is like not afraid of him. And he pays his bills. What is wrong with y'all? You're only talking about one half? Then go be with the other half. What the fuck is this? This is stupid. OMG this. I just posted about 50-50 because the reality is it never will be 50-50 ever, and it should never be to begin with, because why the heck ain't both parties giving their 100% enough to realize we should be fighting about going half on bills? That's for the one household. I'm just going to respond with this. I personally wouldn't do 50-50, but that's only because I require that if we're going to move in together and like be a whole unit, that we have one single bank account. Now, if she's like so hell bent on no, then okay, cool. Then we are going to go 50-50. Like it's just stupid to say don't combine finances, but yet my money's my money. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that shit. If you want your money to be your money, fine. But these are your bills. These are your half of the bills. That's the way that would just work for me. So I don't know. I guess at that point now I'm just afraid of living with another. Who the fuck wants to live with another dude? By the way, now that I think about it, who the fuck? What dude is just like, if I got the choice to live with the chick I'm having sex with, or a guy who I might play 2K with, maybe I'm gonna go live with the guy. Who does that? Like seriously. I once had a male cousin ask if he come stay with me and give me some rent money. No, because I just don't want another dude there like that. Really, I just don't. Like it's just, you're in the way. You're in the way. Like, what are we gonna? He's gonna be coming and going. I'm gonna be coming and going when I'm when I'm chilling watching TV or playing a game, he's coming through and he might be making nah. No. Nah. There has to be, like, for me to put up with that, there's something else that has to be happening after that to make me be okay with that. They know that nigga ain't cooking or cleaning up after them either. And notice that they are never inviting women into their homes. It always has to be the other way around. They'll move in with you, but you can't ever move in with them. Women have to do better. So y'all, this is a comment section full of women who don't know a dude with a house or an apartment. My God. Like, I have a house now, but dude, listen. Had an apartment been available, I would have went. I understand there are pros and cons, but yo, apartments are just so simple. Like, I don't understand this whole hell-bent thing about. That's not the conversation. Let me not get off topic, but y'all, this is a comment section full of women who apparently have no like males around them at all that have their own roof in some way, shape, or form. Either y'all are full of shit and lying, or you yourself got to look at the fact that you are part of a circle of people who ain't shit. Like, you're a part of it, dude. You don't get to just look at the dick havers and go, them. But you too. You're a part of them. You're the one out of the group who has their shit together. Get out of here. I'm going to read this last one. Be done with it. Oh, but the whole cooking and cleaning, like, the dudes y'all talking about, I don't think they give a fuck about something clean. And they'll go to McDonald's and throw the wrappers over the floor or something like the dudes y'all talking about. So stop the nonsense. But again, this is the last one because I'm at the half-hour mark. I have a friend whose lazy, non-bill paying husband called himself leaving her. He went to stay with his homie who has a pretty decent career and owns his home. The lazy husband tried to run back home in less than 2 weeks. Wonder why? And no, she will not have his bum ass back. A comment section full of women who can only marry bums. Like, seriously. So the guy with his own shit and a good career, that's the single guy. But in prime fashion of this whole entire comment section, the one who got a woman is the bum. Ladies, I don't know how y'all can talk this shit and not point the fingers at y'all. Like, seriously. Like, this has been a common theme in these arguments these past 8 decades. It's for some reason the priority for who you lay with, get pregnant with, all that shit. It's not the ones. It's not if he's in order or not. That's not the priority. The priority is solely based on to generalize it, fun, whether it's sex, whether it's how social he is, or so on and so forth. If he's that party guy, whatever that is, that's the priority. And if he just so happens to have to be in order and all that shit, that you will take it. But him being in order first is not the priority for women. And yet still will make threads like this to complain in as if they're not actively choosing. Y'all get tired of us saying choosing. It is, you're proving it time and time again. You will absolutely choose the guy who's homeless, while the guy who's got his shit together, career and house, and that's the one that ain't got. Well, he might have some house, I don't know. But again, he just so happens to, in this right here, be single. And all of y'all examples in this comment section, the dude who can pay the bills by himself is single. But the ones who can't always got a woman. That could also mean that, I guess, just like y'all, when we have our own shit, we're less concerned with having you. But I personally wouldn't say that. I'll come to that conclusion. But so again, I have to point out, and then be done here. Y'all show us time and time again that the priority for you picking a man to be with, sleep with, get pregnant by, is not stability. It is not order. It is solely the fun factor, and the rest can fall in place if it falls in place. That's not our fault. Because, like I said before, a million times, if we did become the leaders and start putting things in place so we can be better people, that would mean that we will come together and eventually go, okay, these dudes, they're just outlaws. They don't want to listen, which that does happen. Every race, continent, everybody has its dudes that's just like, fuck it, I ain't listening to shit. I'm breaking every law known to man. Get the fuck, I'm doing me. When we tell you those guys are not allowed, essentially within this society, but like, we can't kick them out to another state, but there will be no procreating with them, no dating, mating, marrying, none of that. They're out of the question. If you do, you're on your own. Y'all not gonna let that stop you. If you like, oh shit, he fine. You're not gonna let that stop you. If that dude make you laugh enough, him being outside you ain't gonna let that stop you. There's nothing short of you just don't like him going to stop you from going out to the forbidden. It's not. So stop. Stop complaining. Y'all are literally doing everything you want to do, and then these are the consequences. Get over it. Be right, not positive. I'm out.